Sure.
This is the regular meeting of the Mobile City Council, Tuesday, June 25th. Please stand for our invocation, led by Council Vice President LaVon Manzi, and remain standing for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Let us pray. Gracious God, we come thanking you for this day, thanking you for our life, for health and strength, asking that you look down upon these, your leaders, upon this city, that you would bless the thoughts of our minds, the beats of our heart, the work of our hands, as we would move forward in a progressive manner for the upbuilding of this, thy city of Mobile. Look down upon our mayor, strengthen him. Look down upon the members of this council, bind us closer together, and ask that you would put this city together in a special like manner. Cover us in your grace. These are the blessings we ask. In your name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands,
one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Before we would move forward, we'd ask that we would observe a moment of silence. This has been requested by Councilwoman Bess Rich in honor of Miss Ann Young, a longtime active member and citizen here in the city of Mobile, former president of the Regency Homeowners Association, very active in her congregation, in her community, and her absence and her loss will certainly be felt by many across this city. So we ask that you would observe a moment of silence, again in the memory of Miss Ann Young. Thank you.
Roll call, Vice President Manzi.
Here.
Councilmember Richardson.
Here.
Councilmember Small.
Here.
Councilmember Williams. Councilmember Daves.
Here.
Councilmember Rich.
Here.
Councilmember Gregory.
Here.
Statement of rules.
Good morning.
Morning.
The rules of the council are as follows. We first would ask that you turn off or silence all electronic devices upon entering the council meeting. Any person desiring to address the council must sign in indicating the resolution, ordinance, appeal, or public hearing agenda item before entering the meeting. When addressing the council, the speaker must clearly state both your name and your address. Any person desiring to speak to the council on a non-agenda item must contact the city clerk's office no later than 2 p.m. on the Thursday prior to the council meeting. The subject must be pertinent to City of Mobile business. Any person who doesn't provide that notice will not be allowed to address the council on a non-agenda item. Each speaker is allowed 5 minutes. A bell will sound to indicate the end of 4 minutes. That will let you know you have 1 minute remaining for summarizing. The second bell indicates that your time has expired. When addressing the council, we ask that there be no public address to any individual council member. All statements are to be made to me. I serve as chair, and any council member who wishes to be recognized will have that opportunity. To maintain decorum, there will be no undue applause and or public outcry allowed. Those are the rules of the council, and we're certainly happy to see so many interested in your municipal government.
Approval of minutes from June 19th.
So move.
Second.
Properly moved and second. Any discussion? Great job as always. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Minutes are approved.
Communications from the mayor.
Well, good morning.
Morning.
Good to see everybody this morning. First order of business will be calling on Chief Lamy to present the Firefighter of the Month award.
Council, Mayor, thank you so much for, again, letting us have this opportunity to recognize Warren here. Believe it or not, this is pretty amazing. Warren's only been out in the field now for approximately 3 months. and is already standing before you
Wow.
receiving this award. So we're excited about his future and can't wait to see what's in store for him. But I'm going to read this. On Tuesday, May 14, 2019, at approximately 3:30 p.m., firefighter Warren Morgan was picking his children up from school near Azalea Road and Government Boulevard when he noticed a car in the opposing lane driving slowly and erratically. As the vehicle approached, firefighter Morgan noticed the driver appeared to be unconscious. Firefighter Morgan pulled his car to the side of the road, parked, and sprang into action. Discovering the doors were locked, firefighter Morgan physically pushed the car into the shoulder of the road where it came to a stop against a tree. After noticing the driver now slumped forward, he retrieved a tire tool from his personal vehicle and shattered the front passenger window. Upon gaining entry in the vehicle, firefighter Morgan placed the vehicle in park, shut off the ignition, opened and maintained the patient's airway, and took cease-fire precautions until the arrival of Rescue 19 and Engine 19. These actions were performed while off-duty and without a duty to act, and presented a great risk to his own personal safety. Words and awards cannot adequately represent the appreciation of the City of Mobile or the Mobile Fire Rescue Department. Now, therefore, on behalf of all the citizens and with our sincere thanks, we are pleased to award a certificate of recognition to him as Firefighter of the Month for June 2019. Again, thank you all very
So
much.
Chief, firefighter Morgan, was it Texas A&M? No, excuse me, Florida A&M?
Florida A&M, yes, sir.
So, just in case nobody knows this, I think, but me and the chief, but, and Warren's family, nobody in Mobile maybe. But anyway, just a conversation, talking to him, he played at Florida A&M, and I said, were you a wide receiver? And he said, yes, could you tell? Well, obviously, as slender as he is, it seemed to be fitting. I said, well, were you very fast? And he said, yes, I ran the 40 in 4.37. That's smoking hot. Okay, so we have maybe the fastest firefighter in the state of Alabama. And we certainly have the fastest firefighter. We know who the fastest firefighter is in the city of Mobile, so congratulations, Warren.
Keep up the good work.
I would like to say also we held our community meeting last Thursday at Trinity Gardens, and he was there. And he is also in training to be a paramedic. Is that true?
Yes, sir, absolutely. He's currently at paramedic school.
And that gave him the skills he would need to resuscitate and bring this other person back. We're just proud of you, because a lot of firefighters, it's extra to go on to be a paramedic. That's extra work. It's almost like starting to be a nurse. And you came on and you was not satisfied just in the position you were in. You went on to study toward being a paramedic, and it has already paid off. It has already, if you don't help nobody else, it has already paid off. We appreciate you.
Terrific.
Thank you.
Again, congratulations.
Thank you for your service.
That's all I have. Thank you.
Monthly finance report.
Good morning.
Good morning.
This is the May 2019 monthly financial report. For the first 8 months of the year, our sales taxes are up about $2.8 million, or about 2.1% above last year, and that's about 1.2% above the budget for 2019. Total revenues into the general fund are up $6.7 million, or 4% above 2018, and that's about 3.5% above budget. So while our sales taxes are kind of tepid, not flat, but not a roaring success, the other forms of revenue that the city has are up more. Some of those examples are real estate taxes are up close to $800,000. Business license fees are up $1.6 million. Franchise fees are up $700,000. And interest, both on our idle funds, but also on our investments, are up about $600,000 over last year. We have taken a fairly aggressive approach over the last few years to getting some of our deposits into safe but higher interest earning places. Some of those are investment in government, federal government bonds and federal agency deposits, but also just taking advantage of some of the competition out in the marketplace now, especially from banks that are trying to raise capital. All of our city departments remain within budget, which is a positive. Now that we're 8 months in, we can pretty well determine that we will be within budget throughout the city. On a bright note, yesterday culminated in a projection for healthcare for 2020. That's a fairly lengthy process that is accomplished with the partnership of Blue Cross Blue Shield, who is our administrator, but also with Ed Cahaley, who has been our insurance consultant for probably 30 years now. And what they do is attempt to come up with projections of what healthcare will cost next year based on trends that have existed for a number of years within the city. And the good news is that the projection is that we will not have to raise healthcare costs or premiums, if you will, for our employees. As you know, we are a cost-sharing city. That is, a portion of the expected cost of health benefits is borne by the employees and the balance by the city. And we have every dollar at risk in our health plan. It's a pay-as-you-go, self-funded plan. And so we've had a pretty good year, and the trend is positive for Mobile. The trend nationwide is up 6% for 2020. So this is a comparative bright feature of our next year's budget. There is one caution, though. Since the enactment of Obamacare 3 or 4 years ago, we have had a strange effect. One of the results of the act was to remove the lifetime caps for insurance coverage for individual employees. What that did is to incentivize the large pharmaceutical companies to spend money on research and development for what may be called designer drugs or rare disease drugs. They were never willing to invest because nobody could afford to pay the cost of those types of drugs. The average cost of those drugs is $1.2 million a year for a patient. And as opposed to the high-risk healthcare issues that we've experienced in the past, such as premature births and certain kinds of cancer, heart and lung diseases, which are one-time events. They impact the health fund one time. These designer drugs are meant to be maintenance drugs. So for that type of expense, a patient can remain on those drugs for decades. And if you have, for a small plan, if you have 1 or 2 of those types of patients, it'll bankrupt the plan. Now, we have obviously a larger plan, so that would not be the case with us, but still 1 or 2 would have an amazing effect. We have not yet experienced that type of patient. I won't give you the names of the cities or universities or other employers around us, but there are examples all around us of these types of patients now being on these types of maintenance drugs. So in the future, that is going to be a challenge for our program. But for right now, looking at 2020 from where Mobile is today, it's a fairly bright result. I'd be happy to answer any questions.
I don't have a question, but, and I tried to take notes as you were talking about the percentages and the amounts of money. Do you have this in a statement, not so much about the health care, initiative that you talked about, and although that's very good news about not having to raise premiums, so that I could link people to a statement from your office, if that's okay, where you speak about these?
Yes, this will go immediately onto the website.
Okay, then
I
I'll
always
point
give
them
it to
there.
you first, and then
Okay.
we post it.
Great.
Now, a couple of the things I mentioned are derived, we have to calculate
Okay.
these things, but most of what I mentioned,
Okay.
including the percentages, are in the monthly financial
Yeah,
statement.
this far into the budget cycle, I'd like to inform citizens, so 'cause
Yes.
it's very good news.
Yeah, this statement, by the way, is put together by Rebecca Christian, who is our new comptroller, having assumed that position after the retirement of Pat Aldrich. Pat, obviously, you all know her. She did a wonderful job for 51 years, I think. But Rebecca, although she is young and new to this position, she shows signs of being a true star for the city for many years.
Great. Well, thank you.
Yes, sir. Any further questions for Mr. West? Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. West, appreciate everything.
Adoption of the agenda.
So moved.
Properly moved and second, any discussion? If not, all in favor? Opposed? Agenda's adopted.
Appeals, we have requests for a waiver of the noise ordinance on July 4th on Charles Street, July 6th on Colonial Court, July 24th at Cooper Riverside Park, December 14th on Dolphin Street, July 20th on Old Canal Street, July 5th at Heron Lakes Country Club.
So moved.
Second.
Properly moved and second, any discussion? If not, all in favor? Opposed?
Public hearings, today is the public hearing to consider approval of a certificate of public convenience and necessity to Leiden Babel, sorry for mispronouncing the last name, doing business as OK Taxi to operate a taxi cab service.
Is there anyone here that would like to participate in this particular public hearing? If not, the public hearing is closed.
Presentation of petitions and other communications to the council. DeQuell Robinson.
Mr. Robinson? Yeah, can we get a...
He's up.
Right. Right, we're gonna get him a microphone. One second, Mr. Robinson. Appreciate you coming.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. My name is DeQuell Robinson. A coach for the City of Mobile track and field program. Right here, standing next to me is Miss Monica Lane. She's a parent of for our Booster Club, and as you can see to the left of me are the athletes that participate for the City of Mobile track and field program. First off, I would like to say thank you for last year for your generosity for helping us within the program, and we here for today to pretty much act. Can this go on? Oh, I don't know what's going on. Sorry. So we pretty much here today to ask, speaking on behalf of the Booster Club program, asking for any type of generous donation to go towards the program within itself. As you may know, last year, because of your generosity, we had over several athletes compete for the Junior Olympics track program for the City of Mobile. And this year, the program is in South Carolina, Sacramento, California. I'm sorry, is in Sacramento, California. And right now we're on a budget right now, and to try to get funding to try to increase our participant level as athletes. The program has been around for over 50 years. I am a product of that program. I've been running for the program since I was 11 years old, and to come back through the program and pretty much help within the community, to come back and coach. You know, it's my love, it's my passion, it's what I enjoy most, more than anything. And because of last year, through last year, one of our athletes, Cameron, actually was recruited from the recruited for the University of Alabama, due to participating for the Junior Olympics, in North Carolina last year. So what we pretty much here today, to try to offer or ask for any type of donation or generosity to try to help fund and increase our athlete participant level, heading to Sacramento, California. Right now, we have over 78 athletes that compete for the program in the summertime, and we head to regionals within the next 2 weeks, competing against kids across the country. And when kids compete across the country, they pretty much come across all type of individuals and opportunities that get presented towards them, whereas that can lead up to scholarships. As we speak, I spoke of on Cameron, and pretty much, due to, I'm sorry, and I'm sorry, due to your generosity, I believe it can actually help benefit so many athletes that come in and out of the program for the City Mobile, because also, although the athletes are running and representing themselves, they also represent the City of Mobile and represent y'all as a whole as well. Would you like to speak on behalf? Yes.
Thank you. My name is Monica Lang, and I'm one of the parents. I live in Councilman John Williams' district. I just wanted to take 1 minute to share a story with you all. I have a 17-year-old nephew who now plays football for McGill-Tulane. I have a 16-year-old daughter who's a cheerleader at BC Rain, and my nephew has an 8-year-old sister. She goes to Kate Shepherd Elementary. When my nephew was 7 years old, he was a part of this program, and he went to the Junior Olympics. Our whole family went to Houston, Texas with him and supported him in the Junior Olympics. I just want everybody to know that the parents take on raising the funds, the parents take on all of the travel, and as Coach Robinson said, all we're asking for now is a little assistance to help get our premier athletes to the Junior Olympics in Sacramento, California. My daughter told her cousin that she would run with him one day. That was 10 years ago. The very next year, she went out for track and field, and she didn't advance that year, but the very next year, she advanced to the Junior Olympics. So this year coming up will be my daughter's 7th year going to the Junior Olympics, and she's going there with her cousin and the 8-year-old cousin also. Thank you very much.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am.
I just have a question. On your booster club, is it a 501c3? Is it a nonprofit organization?
I'm sorry, I didn't hear the question.
The booster club, is it a nonprofit organization?
Yes, it is.
So you have a certificate of, okay, good.
Yes, ma'am.
All right.
I was trying to refresh my recollection on how we handled this last year. Is this, did we transfer the money to Parks and Rec, didn't we?
Yeah. If I remember
Or to the nonprofit.
My recollection was we gave it to Parks and Rec, but
Right.
Did go through Parks and Rec.
it did.
That's what she was saying.
So we could do like an
We could do that,
intertransfer.
yeah, right.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you all so much, and you all keep that winning tradition. Appreciate you all taking time to come down. I'll certainly look over my discretionary to see what I'm in position to do, because we want you all to continue to be able to participate. You represent the city really well. Thank you all. Madam City Clerk.
Consent resolutions held over. 60594, resolution supporting the return of Amtrak passenger rail service to Alabama.
Move delay over 2 weeks.
Second.
Properly, motion and second, any discussion? Not all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Item is laid over 2 weeks.
Resolutions held over. 21591, authorized contract with Clark Gear Lathan and Associates for Cooper Riverside Park bulkhead and piling inspection. 23592, approve offering 3200 Moffett Road for sale. 61593, approve settlement agreement and release of claims pyramid.
So moved.
Second.
Properly moved and second, any discussion? If not, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Ordinances being introduced for the first time, 88022 through 88024.
By council rules, these orders will lay over for 1 week.
Consent resolutions being introduced for the first time, 08597 through 60603.
Motion to suspend the rules for immediate consideration of resolution 08597 through 6603.
Second.
Properly motion and second, any discussion? If not, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
08597, approve requisitions over 7,500 for the week of June 17th. 31598, authorized grant application to the U.S. Department of Justice for the fiscal year 2019 Justice and Mental Health Collaboration Program. 37599 and 601 are recommending approval to the ABC Board for issuance of a lounge retail liquor Class 2 package store license for Rangeline Package Store, for issuance of a restaurant retail liquor license for Rock and Roll Sushi, Tillman's Corner, and for issuance of a special events retail license to Access Magazine, Fire and Ice on Government Boulevard. 58602, declare weeds noxious, Group 1594, and 6603, approve award of special bonus to the Firefighter of the Month, Warren G. Morgan.
So moved.
Second.
Properly motion and second, any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
CIP resolutions being introduced for the first time, 21604 through 21605.
Motion to suspend the rules for immediate consideration of resolution 21604 through 21605.
Second.
Properly motion and second, any discussion? Not all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
21604, authorized contract with Kyles Murphy, Glover and Associates for James M. Sills Junior Park Community Center Gymnasium chiller replacement. 21605, authorized contract with Weatherford's Fountain and Lawn for Tricentennial Park Lake Fountain replacement.
So moved.
Second?
Properly motion and second, any discussion? Not all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Resolutions being introduced for the first time, 01606 through 61617.
The council rules said resolutions will lay over for 1 week.
Call for public hearings. 41618, direct the city clerk to schedule a public hearing for the proposed rezoning of property at 1160 and 1200 Spring Hill Avenue, north side of Spring Hill Avenue, 90 feet west of Kennedy Street, from B3 and R2 to B3, scheduled July 23rd.
So moved.
Second.
Properly moved and second, any discussion? Not all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Public hearing is called.
Announcements.
Mr. Richardson.
Yes, thank you. Just would like to say that we had a great community meeting last Thursday at Trinity Gardens Dodge Community Center. And one of the highlights was Director Shonda Smith from the Recreation Department announced that they were going to have create a tech center at this summer at the Dodge Community Center, where they're going to involve the youth in all sorts of technical programs. The citizens have been begging for programs that will involve the children, and this is something that they were shouting hallelujah for. So we had lots of presenters, including Airbus. Lots of job, people come in talking about jobs. I say again that we was liking in terms of young people who these announcements could really help. We had a great turnout, but it was basically the mothers and the grandmothers. And the youth who could benefit from these jobs did not appear. I will keep making jobs and job training number one on my agenda when I come inside these communities, and I'm hoping for the day that the young people will come out and take full advantage of that. I'd like to give kudos to the Tobinville-Crichton Redevelopment Committee. On Saturday, they had a Crichton cleanup. Judge Herman Thomas is head of this group, and they probably had 100 people out there. They showed up with rakes, with lawnmowers, blowers, weed eaters, and they went to the home of the seniors, went in the yard, cut the yard for them. They painted several houses. I haven't seen anything like that since I've been on the city council. They showed up in droves ready to go to work, and they did an outstanding job.
Mr. Davis?
No one else.
Mrs. Gregory?
Thank you, Mr. Chair, appreciate that. Just a couple of things going on. I want to thank Nick Amberger for joining me last night to meet with a couple of residents talking about drainage and resurfacing of their neighborhood. It's always really good to have Nick with you when there are questions about what you can and can't do and what the problems really are, because Nick has a terrific way of explaining things and helping people to understand exactly what the problem is and what the city's resources are. So I really appreciate Nick joining me last night to look at some of these things. Also, last week we unveiled the honorary street signs for Mel Showers. It was a great opportunity to watch that, and he was very moved by having those street signs with his name on them. So I appreciate everybody helping with that. Jennifer White and all of her crew, getting those signs up was really terrific. And for those who their route is on Spring Hill Avenue near the interstate, the city is doing some drainage work there. So just be aware that there will be some traffic backups due to drainage work going on. It's something that is part of our capital improvement program and should help relieve some of the issues that we've been experiencing in that part of the district. And I also want to remind everybody about Market in the Park at Lovretta Park, which is on Old Shell Road from 3 until 6 on Thursdays. The park, Market in the Park, runs through the end of July. So go on out and take advantage of local vendors with vegetables, flowers, fruits, you name it, a lot of goodies out there to get during the summer months. And it, again, is from 3 until 6 and runs until the end of July at Lovretta Park. Thank you, Mr. Chair. That's it.
Mr. Small?
Thank you, Vice President Manzi. Greetings to the citizens of District 3. Back in 1969, we had a bad hurricane, Camille, that came through the Gulf Coast and really destroyed, the Gulf Coast. And one particular place that it did some destruction at was in South DIP by knocking down the bridge that had actually went over, I believe it's called Deerwater. That's the connection from South DIP going towards Dauphin Island itself. And when the bridge had knocked down, it pretty much made South DIP more as a dead-end area. For as if you going down there, you're going down there just to go home and come right back out. It was no more connection going straight to the island or Dauphin Island itself. So therefore, from 1969 until this present time, many businesses tried to survive on the South DIP end, and was very, unsuccessful by doing so because of the income in the area, and pretty much just the neighborhood itself is only there just to support it without people actually coming down that way to pretty much invest into the South DIP area. The city has did many upgrading to District 3 since I've been on council, from investing to McGowan Park to all the way to the Brooklyn Aeroplex, for bringing in Airbus and many aerospace companies to now the downtown airport. Well, South DIP, is your time to shine. On Tuesday, July the 9th, 2019, the city and myself, we are calling a community meeting at the Riverside Baptist Church at 3130 Dolphin Island Parkway. And the topic of the discussion will be, quote unquote, our name for right now is the Perch Creek Parks. The Perch Creek Parks. And I guess you said, CJ, what is the Perch Creek Parks? The city has identified millions of dollars in grant money, along with some of our CIP money, to invest millions of dollars going down to South DIP. And right now we are calling a meeting to call all the neighbors to come out and give us their inputs on investing to the Helenwood Park, investing to McNally Park, also doing the connection between Helenwood and the Zyback property, from Living Shoreline Restoration, bird habitation, more as a way to have a kayak launches, more trying to make that area a designation area for our city of Mobile. Many people are saying that, there's no water access to the city, and we don't have too much water access. Well, this project, which is called the Perch Creek Park project, will give citizens and visitors access to reach the waterway that we have so beautiful, not only in the city of Mobile, but in District 3, the South DIP area. And this will bring more businesses to come down as we have visitors to come down to South DIP. And I can see more stores, more restaurants, things that the citizens of DIP actually wanted. And you say, well, CJ, well, I don't kayak, I'm not into the bird habitation. I might not be into the Dog River Scenic Blueway Initiative. Well, one of the things that I had mentioned was the shoreline restoration. And what the shoreline restoration will do is give us beach access here in the city of Mobile, something I am very excited about. Again, that would be beach access. I mean, the closest place that we can go now to a beach is in Fairhope and Dolphin Island itself. But just to drive down to South DIP to go to the beach, it speaks marvelous words. And I'd like to thank the administration, the city, also malls, and many other volunteers for coming together and help to produce activity down in the South DIP area. And this is going to be like a 5-year-long project. And again, please come out on Tuesday, July the 9th, 2019 at the Riverside Baptist Church to put in your inputs about what would you like to see with the Perch Creek Parks, from the shoreline restoration to having a beach to kayaking. I mean, just to pretty much make South DIP a destination place to be at. And so citizens of South DIP, watch out, because things are going to be happening more and more, not only in District 3, but South DIP. Thank you, Vice President Manzi.
Thank you, Mr. Small, and that's a great announcement. Happy to hear that. We'll be able to go to the beach right here in our own community. That's great. Mrs. Rich?
Thank you. Tomorrow, it's my understanding that the splash pad will be closed for maintenance, and I would appreciate if we could put that on our Facebook page as well for citizens to know. I've also been asked about the hours, and I understand the hours are from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. And also, I want to remind people again to not take your ice cream wrappers or popsicles or whatever, your snow cones, whatever you're eating out there, if you'll not take it into the splash pad area. And if you do want to take it into the splash pad area, do not drop the paper onto the splash pad. Put it into the trash cans, please. It does gum up the work, so to speak, and they have to shut it down in order to get that stuff out of the filters. So again, we are getting tables, picnic tables. I understand that contract will be moving up to council where people can sit outside of the facility and have their treats and not bring it in. I think that's really the best probably rule of thumb. Do not bring it in. Do not let your kids bring it into the splash ground. Thank you.
Mr. Richardson?
Yes, I'm sorry, Mr. Chairman, I left this announcement off. They're coming up Monday, July 1st, we will have honorary, the unveiling of an honorary street sign on behalf of Mrs. Eliza Wright Stanford. We will unveil this sign at the corner of St. Charles Avenue and St. Stephen's Road, starting at 10 o'clock. Ms. Wright was a member of the Stone Street Baptist Church. She was in business. She operated 2 businesses for more than 50 years successfully. She is now deceased, and we are coming back to put up a honorary street sign on her behalf. Monday, 10 o'clock, St. Stephen and St. Charles.
Yes, sir. Great. I'd like to announce a series of community meetings for citizens in District 2, starting on July the 16th at the New Bayside Baptist Church, 950 Wanaka Avenue, and then we will go July the 30th at the Via Health Fitness and Enrichment Center. That will be on July the 30th. On August the 6th, we'll be at the Truvine Baptist Church, 1850 Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Avenue, and then we will end at the Union Baptist Church in Africatown, 506 Africatown Boulevard. All of these meetings will start at 6 o'clock, and we're asking all residents interested with concerns to certainly avail yourself of one of these meetings so that we might be able to truly represent your sentiments and your concerns. That concludes my announcements. Any further announcements from members of the council?
Move to adjourn.
Anything from the administration? I hear a motion to adjourn. Second. Probably motion is second. Any discussion? Not all in favor? Opposed? Meeting is adjourned.